Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adelia Puspita, and right now I will explain a presentation about my final project in the classroom management. The topic is about teaching tolerance. Before we gonna talk about teaching tolerance, I have the table of content that I want to explain. The first, there is have an introduction and the type of tolerance, and the next is challenge in practicing tolerance, and the last is conclusion. So the first, we're gonna talk about introduction. So adapted from Muto S, the light in their eyes, creating multicultural learning communities. Tolerance in teaching refers to the educator's ability to respect, accept, and value difference among students in terms of culture, religion, opinion, ability, and background, while creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment. So this is the type of tolerance in teaching. The first is cultural tolerance, or cultural tolerance is like toleransi dalam sebuah budaya. Contohnya menghargai budaya dan kebiasaan yang berbeda. And the next is tidak membandingkan atau merendahkan budaya lain. Okay, and the next is religious tolerance atau toleransi dalam agama. Contohnya adalah tidak memaksakan kepercayaan pribadi dan tidak memaksakan pandangan agama pribadi dalam proses belajar. And the next is learning different tolerance. Itu seperti menghargai gaya belajar yang berbeda. Dan the next is gender and identify tolerance atau seperti mengakui identitas siswa secara adil. Okay, next we have a challenge in the practicing teaching. The first is about cultural and religious diversity in the classroom. So, teachers often face difficult when dealing with students from different cultural or religious background. And the next is lack of training in inclusive education. Like many teachers have not received enough training on how to handle diversity or resolve social conflict. As a result, they may feel unprepared to address issues like discrimination, bullying, or cultural misunderstanding. So the next is about resistance from parents or the community. Like effort to teach tolerance can sometimes clash with the belief of student or local communities. And the next is pressure and inclusion. Like students may avoid showing acceptance toward other because they fear being rejected by their friend. And the next is limited time in the curriculum. Like school program often focus more on academic subject, on character or value education. So for the conclusion, building tolerance in the classroom is essential to shaping an environment where every student feels respect and value. It's got by beyond simply accepting difference. It involves teaching students to understand other and treat one another with fairness and engage in meaningful dialogue despite disagreement. So by promoting tolerance, educators help students grow not only academically, but also emotionally and socially. So these values support the development of critical life skills such as empathy, cooperation, and conflict resolution. Okay, next we're gonna talk about another topic. This is topic about helping students handle anger, frustration, and aggression. Okay, before that, I have a table of content that I want to expand, like introduction, challenge, strategy, and the last is conclusion. So the first, we're gonna talk about introduction. So helping students cope with anger, frustration, or aggressive behavior means guiding them to understand their emotion and respond in healthy ways. It's involved more than just managing outputs. It includes teaching students how to recognize their feelings, communicate them appropriately, and deal with challenges without hurting themselves or others. Teachers play a key role by creating a safe, predictable classroom environment, modeling calm behavior, and providing tools that help students stay in control when they are overwhelmed. So the challenge is about many students struggle to recognize or express their emotion appropriately that may not have the vocabulary or self-awareness to identify what they're feeling, which often leads to impulse or aggressive reaction. Some students do not receive consistent emotionally guidance at home, making it harder for them to practice regulation skill talk in the school, and this is inconsistency can limit the effectiveness of classroom-based intervention. So for the strategy is the first is we should help students feel safe and reduce anxiety, like we can trigger emotional outbursts and help students learn how to resolve conflict peacefully and find solution when they feel frustrated. And students learn how to manage emotion by observing adults, and teacher will model calm, respectful behavior during stressful moment help student mirror to respond. And the next is like help students recognize and name their emotion. Like emotional literacy is foundational to self-regulation. Okay, for the conclusion is supporting students in manage anger, frustration, and aggression is an important part of building a positive and productive classroom environment. When these emotions are not addressed properly, they can affect a student learning and their interaction with others. By using thoughtful strategy like helping students understanding their emotion, staying calm as a teacher creates safe speech, and practicing mindful educator can guide students toward better ways of handling tough situations. Okay, next we're gonna talk about another topic is descriptive behavior. Okay, before that, I have a table of content that I want to explain, like the introduction, challenge, strategy, and the last is conclusion. Okay, the first is about introduction. Descriptive behavior refers to any student action that interferes with teaching, hinders the learning of others, or violates classroom norms and expectations. This behavior may include talking out of turn, refusing to follow instruction, showing defiance, or engaging in aggression. So, according to Charles, descriptive behavior includes any action by students that disrupt the flow of instruction, upset the classroom environment, or distract others from learning. So the challenge is about minor description. So these are low-level behavior that's while not aggressive can still interrupt the learning process. Like for example, like speaking out of a turn without being called on, leaving one side without permission, or losing focus or not paying attention during a lesson. So this is the cause, like why this has happened, because the first is about no clear rules in the class. So when students don't know what is expected, they may act out. And the next is wanting attention. Some students behave badly to get noticed by the teacher or the classmates. And the next is emotional or mental health problem, like student with anxiety and anger issue or other emotional difficulty may struggle to behave well. So this is the next cause, another cause, like they maybe have a basic needs not met, like being hungry, tired, or having problem at home, like a trauma, cause bad behavior. And the next is peer pressure, like student might copy their friend bad behavior to fit it or to be accepted. And the next is feeling bored or confused, like if the lesson is too easy, too hard, or not interesting, student might stop paying attention and start distracting. So, for the conclusion is like I said it before, this is the cause, and the conclusion is there is many another reason like why student cannot doing like that. This is like for example the cause and then the challenge when we have a problem with the student like this. So the next is solving problem. with Q and I. Okay, problem number one is about Mr. Johnson is fifth grade teacher who has been teaching for 10 years. This is years. She has a student named Alex who frequently display aggressive behavior. Alex often interpret lesson talk back to the teacher and sometimes even become physically aggressive towards his classmate. Mr. Johnson has tried various strategies to manage Alex behavior, like such as setting clear rules and consequence, positive reinforcement for good behavior, and speaking with Alex privately to understand the root of his aggression. However, despite her effort, Alex's behavior has not improved significantly. So for the question number one is, what classroom management technique can Mr. Johnson implement to address Alex's aggressive behavior? Like provide at least three specific strategy and explain how each one could have improved the situation. Okay, I will answer for number one is Mr. Johnson can make a quiet place in where Alex can go when he feel angry, and this is help him calm down before he hurts someone or get too upset. So the next is when Alex act nicely, Mr. Johnson should say something good like great job staying calm. Like this is make Alex want to do it again, and the last give a solve problem to teach Alex to stop and thinking before acting. This help him learn to talk about his feeling instead of getting angry. Okay, problem number two is Mr. Smith is seventh grade math teacher who has noticed that several students in his class frequently engage in off-text behavior during lesson. The students often daydream, they chat with classmates or use their phone instead of focusing on their work. So despite Mr. Smith attempt to redirect in their intention and provide engaged activity, and the problem persists. This is off-task behavior is disturbing the learning environment and learning affecting the overall performance of the class. So for question number two is, what strategy can Mr. Smith use to increase on-text behavior and discrete off-text behavior? Like provide at least three specific strategy and explain how each one could help address the issue. Okay, the answer number two is Mr. Smith should explain the text clearly so students know what to do, and this helps them to stay focused and see give small reward when students are working well. And this make them feel good and want to keep doing the weak thing. And the less the work too long too hard, students might stop trying. This make can break the work into smaller parts of to make it easier and help students stay on track. And the most important is Mr. Smith cannot have a rulers like they have a rulers to stop to using phone or anything like when they have a class. I think this is the important. The rules is important. So the student can be focused with their work. Okay, so for problem number three is Mrs. Brown is a 8th grade English teacher who is facing challenge with a student named Jake. Jake frequently exhibits disruptive behavior in the class, like such talking out of turn, making important comment, and distracting other students. So despite Mrs. Brown attempt to manage the behavior through verbal warning and sitting chance, Jake behavior has not improved. This disruptive behavior is affecting the learning environment and making it difficult for other students to concentrate on their work. So for the question number three is, what specific strategy can Mrs. Brown implement to manage Jake disruptive behavior? Like provide at least three strategy and explain how each one can help address the issue. So, answer number three is Mrs. Brown can have a short, like, quick talk with Jake to ask how he's feeling. Like sometimes kid act out because something is wrong. Like and taking can help. Like she can gently remind Jake what he should do. Like please raise your hand first. Like this help him remember how to behave. Like and say a good thing when he have behavior and like when Jake is doing well. Like Mrs. Brown can say good job, sitting quietly. This make him feel good and want to behave more. I think Jack have a reason like why he acting like that. So we as a teacher we have to know about the reason so we can act and have a better teaching about Jack. So I think this is the enough for me for the presentation. Kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.